Hello everyone, today I am going to carry on with my nest for the Roxy's Journal of Stitchery prompt. I have started on my nest. I've used a couple of pieces of doily and some sari silk and some brown tulle for the inside, but I've got to do like a little bit of a branch, I think, otherwise it's just floating in the air, isn't it? I have this darker colour sari silk. It doesn't need to be anything too elaborate. That's almost broken there anyway. So I just grabbed a few pieces out to have a play like that. Doesn't need to be that long. So something like that won't be that long for sure. Like that and that. Got a bit of wool. I don't have a lot of wool, and this is the, apart from black, this is the darkest colour I kind of have in the brown theme, so I'll have to keep my eye out for a bit more wool on my visits to the op shop or thrift store. I just want a little mix. That's that, and I've got brown embroidery thread that I can use to sort of couch it down with and things like that. I'm wondering if I can intermingle just a little bit of the brown tulle as well. Let's just get a bigger pair of scissors. Like, not a lot. I don't want it to look like that, but just maybe as a bit of a base it might work all right. So something like that. Perhaps like bird is kind of going to come like that. So that could even have like a little fork in it perhaps there. I'll have to play around with it. Like that. This needs to be a lot bigger down here, I'm thinking. I just had a look at the camera there, so I might need to add a bit more to this over here to make it look wider than up that side there. Like that. Going in, that will be pinched in. So something like that. I've done the dark inside because it gives that illusion of it being quite deep. I'll have to find eggs or something like that to go in. I have all my little scraps of lace that I had out the other day here as well that can be added, you know, over the top here, around like that, to build the nest up a bit more, like that, perhaps, like that. But of course I want to do some dangly bits as well. What's that one? I want to do some dangly bits as well. See, that could go under the sari silk, I'm thinking, because that's the back side, and it would kind of act the opposite way as the front side here. This is sweet, isn't it? Look at that. That they'll have to be all manipulated when I sew it in, but it's kind of given it more rise in it and made it a little bit more interesting. I did do stitching on the background. I've done some straight stitching across, well, running stitching across there and down the side, little feather stitch here, another running stitch along the bottom here, and up the side there's some running stitches. So I've basically stitched the background around here enough that it's not just the fabric, it's got some slow stitching on it. So this is what I'm going to try and play with now. So like that, and then like I've got these leaves here that I took the bird from, and I'm just wondering if I could roughly cut them out. And they could be like at the back here, perhaps. It would be better with a cream background, wouldn't it? Because the blue is there. That one's all right, but I think maybe I need to find one of the pictures. I think I put them away that had a cream background, because I think I'd like a couple of leaves around the back. Just let me go and see. Okay, I found some. It's actually got the iron-on stuff on the back there. That might be nice to use part of that. And it's got the cream background, so it is a bit easier to cut out. I don't have to be quite so perfect. Like that. It would be nice to leave the flowers on, I think. Let's have a look. See if I can do something like that. And then I could embroider over the top of the little flowers as well. But it just adds that colour, that little bit of colour to it, seeing as it's spring and all the flowers are starting to come out. Okay, let's have a look. Kind of like that, I wonder. And then remember, the bird isn't going to be as big as this cloth. The bird's going to be just as big as the bird is, and that will be like that. I think that will be nice. I do have another little bit left on this strip. Maybe it could come around the bottom. I'm not, see, I kind of wanted to keep it not too realistic either. That's not quite the right colour, but that one would probably work a bit better, a peachy colour. But that style, I could have those on this side. I think that might work. Something like that might work. Now, to get these, let's just... To get these on, I have to kind of work from the base up, don't I? So let's just put all those bits over there for the time being. And these will go on top. That kind of goes on top. So that will go like that. May just have to trim it down just a little bit here. So more like that. I could always, you know, attach those two little ones. They're so tiny though, I don't think it would, I don't know. I think it looks fine like that. So that has to go on first. Yeah. And that's got a, is that an iron-on or something? I think it is. That like that goes first. So let's take that away, and see, that has to go on too, but I kind of want that a little bit different. That first. So I just, oh, how am I going to press that on? Because that's quite delicate behind it. Very carefully, I would think. Let me just, I think I have, where is it? I had a pressing cloth, and I was wondering whether that might work better for this piece. And it should be up here, but I don't see it. I'm just going to have to be careful then, aren't I? I don't want to burn that other piece. Ooh, hang on. All right. Let's see if... There's another bit pinned to the back. Okay, I want to get that under there a bit, like that. Yeah, that's doing it. Okay. just enough to hold it in place like that. Go. It's alright, isn't it? Okay. I'll have to keep my eye out for that little pressing cloth that I've got because it's rather handy. Okay. So that's there. And now I need to have this one. I was going to have that under there, wasn't I? Like that. Like that. And that. Like scrunched up a little bit. And like that. And like that. Yeah. Looks like a nest kind of thing, I think. And that will go in there. So, the crochet goes on first. Okay, so I'm going to just, with a double thread, this is just a sewing thread from the sewing machine. I'm just going to catch it where I want it, basically. And as I go, I'll kind of scoot it over a bit so it's not laying flat. And hopefully it will start to look. And it's just like an invisible stitch type thing I'm doing, but kind of manipulating the fabric and the crochet and all that sort of thing. And couching it almost, but I'll go back and put more stitches in. I just need to get it, you know, into shape because there's layers involved. I'm hoping. This is where the bird kind of goes over, I think, this part. So we'll keep that fairly flat there because the bird will be on that part. back to some scrunching now, and then I'll do that to the bottom crochet layer, and I'll do it down here as well. Then I'll come back and do the same to the sari silk, and once I've done the sari silk, I will do the same sort of thing in a brown cotton, of course, to the brown tulle in the center to get it looking how I want it to look. You know, these little tiny pins are wonderful when you've got to do things like this and you've got to have lots of pins in things. So see how that kind of runched it up and gave it a little bit of depth, although, you know, when the pages are all shut it will flatten out, but still. So I shall continue on with this, doing the same sort of thing, and then I'll come back and show you how that turns out. Okay. Okay, all that has been sort of stab stitched on. I put the tulle on, but it kind of looks a little bit naked in a couple of spots in there, if you can see. So what I've done is I've just tied some little tulle knots, and I can pop them in to help fill in the gaps a little bit. Plus it gives it a little bit more dimension as well, because I'll leave the ends of them like poking up a bit like that. So like that. So another one here, I think. And last one. I'll pop that one up here. A little bare spot there. I enjoy doing this sort of stuff. I forget how much I enjoy doing this kind of thing until I do it, and then I think, why don't I do more of this? Sort of, you know, just I don't even know what it's called. Fabric, you know, artsy type stuff instead of just stitching and making. I might need another one in there. There, okay. Okay, I'll just trim that off a little, like that. A bit of a scrunch there. So that's what that looks like. Now I need to work on the branch a little bit, so kind of want it sitting under that stuff a bit, like that. See, the sari silk's quite good because it actually has the lines in it, doesn't it? couple of pins in there to keep that open. Like that. And that. That maybe. How does that look? It needs to be thicker up there than over here, like that, basically. Right. Okay, and that will need a couple bits of wool in there as well, perhaps, like that, just to give it more substance or whatever. Okay, and now the same over here. Where's my bits? That. Like that. Maybe this. It's got to look like it can actually support the nest, doesn't it? Hey? It does. Like that. I think that might look a bit more substantial. Could that come around like that? Where's my bird? I'm going to just trim this so it gives me a better idea. I'll just allow quite a big. That's not how it's going to be, but this just gives me a better idea of what it will be like. Okay, so that will be like that, but won't have that white edge around it. It's going to have bits coming down as well. Maybe that should be under, like the other side is, like that. And then that goes over, like that. Or, then that down there, like that. That like that. That could come down there like that. It doesn't seem to, I think it needs to be more like that, to be honest. So what I'm going to do is I'll iron it on under like that. Like that. Like that. Like that. I think that looks a bit better, doesn't it? Got that bit there. Like that. That looks alright, I think. Yeah. So they'll need ironing on before I start on the branch, like I did with that one, and I'll do a little overcast stitch around them as well. Right, should that be on top? Maybe that one will go under like that. Yeah. That one might not be seen very much, we'll see. No. There. Good work there. Because this is going to have bits coming down, so there's not much point in putting a lot there. Okay, so I think that's it perhaps for this video today. You can see where I'm going with it. I'll iron the leaves on and do a blanket stitch around it. I will then couch stab stitch the sari silk, the tulle and the wool on to make the branches. And then the next video will be doing the little dangly decorative pieces, attaching the bird and finding a couple of eggs to put in there. I'll also have to write nest on something. No, a bit of colour would be nice, wouldn't it? Down here, maybe something green. Oh, I had that green. Where did I put that? Okay, got that, but that's too dark. So I might just use a bit of it on there. Like nest isn't a very big word, is it? Probably being rather generous. And that could probably go there with the word nest on it, but I won't put that on until I've done the rest of it. That and the bird will be the last thing to go on, but I'm going to pin it there anyway just so it doesn't get lost, because I kind of have to scoot everything to the side when I'm doing something else. So I hope you've enjoyed that video today. Take care everybody, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.